Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. So here we have this, right? We have a computer. Okay. And the price of it originally was $850. And we see that, there's a sale. So it's marked down. It's marked as 35% off. We want to get the new price. Well, there's different ways of doing that. I mean, what they're saying is they're taking 35% off. Right? That's what they're saying. It's 35% off. Okay, so first we got to figure out, well, what's the discount then? How much are they taking off? In other words, what is 35% of $850? Right? That's the first thing you have to figure out. What is 35% of 850? Okay, so we have our is over of. Right? That's another ratio with percent that's useful. Another ratio that you can use with percents. Instead of part over whole, you have is over of. So we have 0.35 equals is over of. Okay? So here we have all this. Okay, so what do we do now? We want to isolate. We want to solve for the is. So let me get that wonderful red pen that comes with PowerPoint. So what do? We're going to, oh boy. That's an 8. You have 850, okay? I'm going to multiply both sides by 850. Okay. Just put parentheses in there. Okay, and now that's going to work, right? Because now these are going to cancel. And what you're going to get is your is. Here. That's equal to 0.35 times 850. That's what this is equal to. And that works out to be, if you round it, you get $297.50. But that's not the answer, though. And why is that not the answer? Well, because that's how much they're taking off. You want the new price. So the new price is the old one minus the discount. So we basically just calculated the discount. So what's the new price? $850 minus $297.50 to get $552.50. So that is the new price. So that's a word problem giving us an application of percents. Okay? Are there any questions on that? So I'm going to show you another way to solve it. Okay. Well, another way to think about it is this. If it's on sale and they took 35% off, that really means we're paying 65% of the original price instead of 100%. 100% is no discount, right? You're paying the whole entire price. But they're taking 35% off. That means we're only paying 65% of the original price. That's what we're paying. Okay, so then the question boils down to, what is 65% of 850? That's going to be the new price. And then, of course, we cross multiply. So for 65%, this is the ratio. 0.65 is over of, where of in this case is 850. Okay, so just like before, we have to cross multiply. Okay, see if I can write that. Let me put this in parentheses like this. I'm trying to write it with the pen and with the mouse on my computer, which is not pleasant. But anyway, this is what we get. And so we cancel, right? When you cross multiply, we end up with 850 times 0.65, which is $552.50. So it's another way of thinking about it. I mean, either both methods are right. If on not the first exam, but on a later exam, If you complete this problem either way, then that's good. Either method. Are there any questions on this? Okay. So here's another kind of problem where percents come up. You know, let's say you go out to dinner or wherever and you want to leave a tip, right? Well, a tip is a percent of the bill. You know, you go to a restaurant or whatever, after you eat your meal, you know, the bill comes and you want to give a tip, assuming the waiter, assuming the, what's the word? Assuming the service was good. So let's say the bill was $115.50. And again, let's say you want to pay a 7% tip. Well, how much is the tip? Well, so what is this really saying? This is saying that you want to give 7% of $115.50. You want to give that to the service. You want to leave that tip. Okay, well, how do we do that? Well, we want to know what is 7% of $115.50. What is 7% of $115.50, right? That's what the tip is. So we use our is over of. Although instead of is, I wrote tip. But it's really the same idea. You know what? Maybe this will help. Tip is the same thing as your is. Okay? So we have 0.07, which is our percent as a decimal, equals is, or a tip in this case, over whole, or over of, excuse me. And what do? We cross multiply, right? It's just like before. We want to get tip all alone. That's our unknown. So we're going to multiply both sides by $115.50. Oh boy, see if I can get this. Darn it. See if I can draw this. I mean, PowerPoint, they do have like a pen and an eraser. As you can tell, I'm working with that, but it's not that pleasant to work with. Oh boy, I think I made it worse. All right, let me just erase that. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. You're going to cross multiply both sides by $115.50. And what you get is the tip is $115.50 times 0.07, which is about $8.09. So that's the tip you're leaving. So again, you know, percents do appear when you consider tips. I know percents also come up when you do taxes. I think we did an example. No, actually, yeah, I think we did do an example last time with tax, so I think we'll do one today, but we'll see. So this is what happens here. Now, the next problem is a little bit different. Let's suppose now you go to dinner. The bill, and including the tip, though, comes out to be $115.50. How much was dinner before the tip? You see the difference? See the difference here? So here we have our bill, which is $115.50, but this is already including the tip. This is including that 7%. But we want to know how much is the bill before the tip. So how much was dinner without the tip? And now I presented some calculations to illustrate how we would do this. I mean, I have done this kind of question before, and people, from my experience at least, people struggle with it. So we want to know how much the bill was before the tip. Okay? Well, let's approach it this way. Could dinner have cost $100? Well, if it did, what would have to happen? $100 plus the tip. So this is assuming dinner cost $100. Let's just say that. What would that mean? Well, dinner would cost $100. Okay. But then you add on the tip and you should get this. Because remember, this is the price including the tip. But if dinner was $100, how much was the tip? Well, if you go through this kind of calculation, how did we get the tip? Well, we took the amount that dinner was without the tip and multiplied it by 0.07. You know, what is 7% of something? It's 0.07 times that something. That's all I'm doing here, just to save room. So we have $100 plus 0.07 times 100. So this is 7% of 100. This sum would have to be $115.50. Right? Remember here, the $115.50, that's the bill with, including the tip. We want to know what the bill was before the tip. But what is this actually equal to? Well, we have $100 plus, this turns out to be $7. This is saying $107 is $115.50. Well, this isn't right. So the dinner could not have cost $100. In other words, dinner before we added the tip, it could not have cost $100. You know, we can see that's too small. Let me just change the recording.